Jerry Falwell Jr. is the fail son of Jerry Falwell Sr. Now, Jerry Falwell Sr. was one of the most powerful fundamentalist televangelists in the country. Very well known, traveled everywhere, very famous. So Jerry Falwell Jr. he relates to Trump because they both were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. So Donald Trump often says he got a small loan of $1 million from his daddy. That's actually not true. His dad, who was a massively successful real estate developer, eventually $400 million went from Trump's dad to Trump. So he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. You know, he fails up. That's what happens. So even though he had 6 businesses that went bankrupt, he still successfully marketed himself as this business genius because he's coasted by on daddy's money and image control and marketing. So that's Trump Jr. Now, again, Jerry Falwell Jr. is so similar because he didn't do anything. He just inherited daddy's fundamentalist evangelical empire, and he's lucky because he can continue to basically trick those people into thinking that he's somehow a godly man and a leader or whatever. But he's a joke. He's a fucking fail son. He's a joke, is what he is. He's done nothing. He's a clown. He wears a suit, so he thinks you should take him seriously, and his daddy was Jerry Falwell Sr., so he thinks you should take him seriously. When you're about to see, he's just a lost soul, is what he is. So he spoke to the Washington Post because he's one of Trump's biggest backers. And here's what he was asked. Is it hypocritical for evangelical leaders to support a leader who has advocated violence and who has committed adultery and lies often? I understand that a person can be forgiven for their sins, but should that person be leading the country? Here's his response. When Jesus said we're all sinners, he really meant all of us, everybody. I don't think you can choose a president based on their personal behavior, because even if you choose the one that you think is the most decent, let's say you decide Mitt Romney, nobody could be a more decent human being, better family man, but there might be things that he's done that we just don't know about. So you don't choose a president based on how good they are. You choose a president based on what their policies are. That's why I don't think it's hypocritical. All right, let me pause there. I actually agree with that notion that it's about policy. That's the most important thing. However, Jerry Falwell Jr. inherited an empire from Jerry Falwell Sr. Jerry Falwell Sr., his whole shtick was Bill Clinton cannot and should not be president because of the failings in his moral character, because of the cheating with Monica Lewinsky, because somebody's personal life speaks volumes about what kind of a human being they are, and we can't have a cheater in the White House. That was Jerry Falwell's dad. Now, should we give him a pass because his daddy said that, but he didn't necessarily say that? Well, I'd say no, because he doesn't have the same standard for Democrats. If a Democrat has an affair or something, he's all over it and acting like it's the end of the world and it's the worst thing ever. So it's convenient when he says, oh, it's all about policy. No, it's not. You don't say it's about policy when it's the Democrats. You say it is about character when a Democrat has character failures. So he's just a partisan tribalist hack. Now, I agree with the statement in a vacuum, but the context is it's fucking Jerry Falwell Jr. saying it, and he pretends to care about character all the time when it's Democrats, and he just sweeps it under the rug when it's Trump. So just keep everything in perspective, but let's continue because it gets worse. He says, there's 2 kingdoms. There's the earthly kingdom and the heavenly kingdom. In the heavenly kingdom, which, let's be clear, is made up, the responsibility is to treat others as you'd like to be treated. In the earthly kingdom, so on earth, no, don't treat others like you'd like to be treated. In the earthly kingdom, the responsibility is to choose leaders who will do what's best for your country. Think about it. Why have Americans been able to do more to help people in need around the world, than any other country in history? It's because of free enterprise, freedom, ingenuity, entrepreneurism, and wealth. A poor person never gave anyone a job. A poor person never gave anybody charity. Not of any real volume. It's just common sense to me. Yes, I believe that this quote is sound. If you close your eyes and listen, it sounds like Jesus talking. It's because of free enterprise, entrepreneurism, and wealth. Mark 22:17. Yes, Jesus was like, capitalism, rock on. I love me some capitalism. Let's outsource some jobs. Anybody down to outsource some jobs? Let's send them to Cambodia. Let's do that. Who's down for that? What a joke. He's shitting on poor people. A poor person never gave anyone a job. A poor person never gave anybody charity. He's saying, like, the rich are better than poor people. Now, listen, it's fine. Like, I would not be doing this segment if the person who made this comment is expected. So if some, like, Ayn Rand devotee libertarian made this comment, I wouldn't be doing this segment because that's called Tuesday. That's we expect it from those people. This is a guy whose whole thing is, I'm a man of Jesus. My daddy was a man of Jesus. I'm the world's best Christian. Yes. And his whole philosophy is anti-Jesus in the New Testament in most of his moods. It's unbelievable. I can't... The two kingdoms part is perhaps even worse, too. Because he's like, treat others as you would like to be treated? What? No, there's two kingdoms, the earthly kingdom and the heavenly kingdom. In heaven, we're supposed to treat others as we would like to be treated. Here in the earthly kingdom, obviously, don't do that. It shouldn't be me, Mr. Secular Atheist, who's out here every day pushing for Medicare for all and free college and a living wage and ending the wars and, putting a roof over everybody's head, which is not only the right thing to do, ethically and morally, it also saves money. It shouldn't be me making these arguments. It should be Jerry fucking Falwell. But he's a fail son, and he's a televangelist, fundamentalist creep. He has no core. He has no real beliefs. So he's concocted an ideology that's fundamentally the opposite of most of the New Testament, but he still wants you to take him seriously.